Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, you are about to enter a channel of darkness where DVDs and Blu-rays are meaningless and tapes are God.
Can we go yet?
Guys are kinda killing my buzz. Let's enter the tape tomb. What's up, all gendered dudes and tape heads, and welcome back to another episode of The Tape Tomb, a show where each week I set my money on fire to add to my ever-growing horror VHS collection. I am your host, the man, the myth, the beanie, Larry Downs, and this week's movie is directed by a man whose name strikes fear into the hearts of music fans and movie fans alike. It's the man, the myth, the zombie, Mr. Rob Zombie, with his 2003 directorial debut of House of a Thousand Corpses. Rob Zombie's Hellbilly Deluxe was one of the first CDs I ever bought with my own money, and of course the cool guy behind the counter didn't care it was parental advisory. He sold it to me anyway. And you know my ass was at the local Hot Topic as soon as they opened up at my nearest mall, so was I excited when I heard that Rob Zombie was going to be directing the next over-the-top gross-out slasher of the year? Fuck yes I was. This unforgettable piece of cinema was written and directed by the man who's dug more ditches and burned more witches than the average human, Rob Zombie. Stars the late Sid Haig as Captain Spaulding, Sherry Moon Zombie as Baby Firefly, and Chop Top Bill Moseley as Otis Driftwood.
Hope you like what you see!
Now, I know everyone has their own reservations how they feel about Rob Zombie and his directing style, but you have to understand something. At the tender age of 13, this was everything I could have possibly wanted in a movie. Directed by one of the greatest, not musical influences, but just influences on my taste in general at that time. It was amazing. So what is this movie about? A pretty sick family with a really bad hoarding problem. Yuck, 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 yuck. Roll the film. It's Halloween Eve 1977, and we join two couples cruising down the road, which include a young Chris Hardwick, Rainn Wilson, and two understandably cranky girlfriends as they continue their soon-to-be short-lived journey cross-country visiting the weird, offbeat roadside attractions that you would normally see on your travels for a book that they're writing. Of course, when Bill realizes Jerry didn't put any gas in the tank, they see a sign for Captain Spaulding's Museum of Monsters and Madmen that not only has gasoline, but fried chicken too. They can't help but swing by and check it out. This place is dope, and an easy sell for our oblivious young people as Jerry signs them up for the all-inclusive murder ride, which focuses on the histories of notorious killers hosted by the owner, Captain Spaulding, the local gas station worker / horror enthusiast / clown guy. After the ride, Jerry is hooked on a story told about a local legend named Dr. Satan, who legend has it is buried right around these parts. After bugging Spaulding for directions, they are on their way, but not before getting caught in a storm and picking up a random hitchhiking woman and offering her a ride to her family's farm just a couple miles down the road. What kind of horror movie would this be if the car didn't break down and the group had to separate? Well, that's exactly what happens, but ultimately they all end up at Baby, the hitchhiking girl's house, and they are in for quite a treat. This family is fucking weird. Like, really fucking weird. So after dinner and a show, the couples have absolutely had it. But the Firefly family certainly hasn't. When the couples try to escape, they are assaulted by the family and held prisoner for what is sure to be the worst day ever. What's next to come is a funhouse horror experience that surely will never be forgotten as our new captees get a little too close to the story of Dr. Satan in House of a Thousand Corpses. Now, I know a lot of you people have really loud opinions about this movie, and honestly, I've revisited it after a couple years and I've added a new tint to my rose-colored glasses, but regardless, this will always be a favorite of mine. This movie is just nuts. It has everything you would expect from Mr. Rob Zombie just picking up a camera and taking a crack at it, with an absurdly similar feel to Tobe Hooper picking up a camera and taking a crack at making a movie with the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's raw and unrefined and heavily experimental with its color tones and camera shots. You can tell that Zombie explored so many different avenues to capture his idea of what the film should be. Some of those ideas didn't work, and that's okay. You can literally watch him learn as he directs, and as a young person who is interested in horror, anything Rob Zombie did, and filmmaking, this is literally the best playground for my twisted little adolescent brain to play on. The downright lack of skill can be bad looking back, but honestly, it's just downright genuine, which is an absolute sell for me. This was his movie, and he wouldn't let Hollywood or anyone else tell him otherwise, and of course that makes it a perfect fit for here at the Tape Tomb. Here's some interesting facts about House of a Thousand Corpses. In 2014, Rob Zombie acknowledged the movie's cult following, but admitted that he himself is not very fond of it. He's quoted as saying it's a calamitous mess, and all he does when he's watching it is see flaw after flaw after flaw. Relax, my spooky king. We love it. This house is the same house used in the movie The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas from 1982. It's actually seen on the tram ride at the Universal Studios tour, and it actually halted production multiple times because they wouldn't stop the tours. This movie inspired a full-blown haunted house at Universal's Halloween Horror Nights in 2010 and 2019, and I'll never forgive myself for not going. Thank you all for watching another episode of The Tape Tomb. I've been your ghost host with the most, Larry Downs. And if you liked this week's episode, make sure you click that like and subscribe button to boost my ego and let me know that you're enjoying this stuff. And even leave a comment down below telling us what you think about House of a Thousand Corpses or a future movie we should do in another episode. Also, tune into our live stream multiple times a week on Twitch under Nightmare Fuel Streaming, just like here on YouTube. We play some of the coolest horror and sci-fi games, and we just hang out. Feel free to hop in the chat, tell us that our opinions are wrong, but you still like us anyway. Don't forget to scope out our sister series, Airlock Shock, starring Nick Haskin, every other Wednesday here at Nightmare Fuel. He talks about some of his favorite sci-fi movies the same way we do here at the Tape Tomb. Follow us on Instagram. We're hip, we're cool, we do all that stuff. Instagram, Nightmare Fuel Streaming. That is it for this week's episode. Thank you so much for joining us. Signing off. Stay spooky, my friends, and we'll see you in the sequel.